Hello, hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Elena's Bar Low Impact Full Body Workouts. My name is Elena. I'm today with Sam and with Melody, and we are going to have a lot of fun debunking some very weird and interesting messages that women and men often hear on social media. Unfortunately, I confused the time. So the discussion about spirituality will be next week. But guys, you're welcome to leave us your comments and questions because we are going to be talking to a spirituality teacher who is teaching men how to be spiritual, I guess. And we will have him in a few weeks. Okay, we'll sort it out and we will put an announcement on social media. Okay, in the meanwhile, you can check out the fitness program and also join us for the interesting discussion today. We will be talking about relationships and also, some misleading messages from people. Okay, let's dive in, right? We won't waste your time. We'll start immediately with a presentation here. So I'm the host. You probably know me. And here is Melody. We've been running a lot of classes with her. You can check out more classes on Elena's Bar Patreon. Are you munching on something, Melody? Cool. And
Yeah,
here is
I got into
Sam.
my cooking family.
Okay, cool. Your cookies. Gosh, yeah, I have some sweets waiting for me here too. And we have Sam here. He's our guest speaker, and he has been joining for the past few seminars with us. And it's a pleasure to have you, Sam. We love to talk to rational masculine men. So you are welcome here, guys. And by the way, Melody, while we are still here, can I ask you a quick question? I received a message from one guy, and he was asking, I have a friend who is very handsome and single. Ladies, this is for you, okay? Do you know any single ladies for him? His name is Blake. Melody knows him.
I know, I know who sent you that. Yeah,
Do you know the
I don't know. Yeah,
guy?
I mean, if you know any single ladies, who are decent women, like, yeah, Blake's a good guy. I mean,
He's a good guy. Okay, ladies, here you go.
yeah,
Okay, reach out to us. We will create a club, okay, for matching club eventually. Okay, so let's move on.
Elena's
Yes,
matchmaker service.
matchmakers. Yes, and we will have you here online. We will ask you questions. You will answer to them. That's the plan. Okay, thank
Like a
you,
dating show.
Yeah, it was Raphael who reached out to me. So you know the guys,
That
right? They
sounds
are legit.
right.
You,
Yeah.
you never know with social media who is reaching out. So yeah, okay, we'll do that then. Anyway, guys, the topics of today's conversation. We can keep it shorter if you want to. So, intersexual dynamics, should people give each other second chance? And I was inspired by that post that we saw last time when the lady was saying that, no, don't give people second chance. Oh, Emma is here. Let me put you guys here. Yeah, we'll see Emma. Is it the same link as last week? What are you talking about? The discussion? No, it's a different link. Yeah, good to have you here. Ah, no, do you want to join us? Okay, Emma wants to join us. Hold on. I'll see if I can do that. Hold on, Emma. Okay, it's a different link. Each time it's different. Okay, I'm sending you the invitation. Cool. So Emma will be here in a moment. In the meanwhile, yes, we are going to talk about intersexual dynamics, and I was inspired by that girl who was saying that don't give second chance to people, and it made me questioning. Did she mean only to like family members, or did she mean like people in general outside of the family? So this is something that I'd like us to get into. So what do you think, guys? Should people get second chance?
I mean, it depends on the situation and yeah, depending on what it is, I always like to give people some time to show that they've changed or whatever. That it's no,
Is she frozen now?
I don't know if I'm cut out or you guys are cut out, but everyone's frozen right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
No, we are not now. We can hear you. So yeah, I agree with you. It depends on the situation. I would
Okay,
say
cool.
you
I can
can't
hear you
forgive the
now.
three A's. Okay, cool. You can't forgive the three A's. This is adultery, the cheating. Obviously, you can't forgive that, right? Abuse and then addiction. But then the cheating is kind of tricky because if you look at the relationship between men and women, here, should men forgive women who cheat on them? And should women forgive men who cheat on them?
There's a lot of words that need to be defined in there. Yeah, it's always good to forgive people. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to like reconcile the relationship or
Yeah.
like continue the relationship. And like, what does it mean to cheat? I mean, that can mean
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
was in
things.
college, like, well,
Yeah, cheating, I mean, like sleeping with another part. And cheating for
yeah,
women starts
there's that. I think
emotionally.
everyone's frozen out again. I don't know.
Okay, let me see if I can restart it. Reload.
Oh, she's gone. Welcome to the Melody and Sam podcast. Elena is gone.
I'm here. I'm reloading it to see if it helps, but then I'll need to add our. Hold on a second. So we were talking about emotional cheating for women. Women start cheating emotionally. They get attached to every guy that they plan on cheating with, right? Versus men don't get emotionally attached. And if you look at the like queens, the olden times, men did cheat on women, and women would still prefer to share an alpha strong man rather than being with the beta man. So I would say that this is a tricky question. Obviously, guys, you feel free to tell me what you think, but I think that it should be different for men and for women. I would say that if a man is worthy, then look, I know a lot of marriages where women just close their eyes and men kind of go and cheat. Yes, they are pigs, they're not nice guys out there, but they still provide resources for the family. They stay in the family. And look, if the wife is not, the problem is that a lot of wives are just like, I don't want to deal with this guy. I just want his resources. So the question is, it's a hard question. This is why I bring it up to you guys. What do you think?
I think that like the boundaries of the relationship should be defined, or at least
Yeah.
not necessarily explicitly defined, but they should be understood by both parties. And yeah, when you violate boundaries in a relationship, then what are you doing in the relationship? You should not be in the relationship.
True.
So in that sense, I would say no. I mean, like, yeah, forgiveness is great, but you know, if you take the trash out to the curb, don't go rooting through it. So no, I don't think that you should necessarily give second chances for things like that. And you should also question why, like, if the motivations for the cheating in the first place is that the relationship was founded on false pretenses or a bad foundation, then you should not entertain the relationship further, even if they're like, you know, even if you think it might be nice.
Yeah. What do you think, Emma?
I no, I don't think you should forgive. I'm quite traditionalist in a way. I always think, the person you're with should be enough for you. And I've, no matter how bad the relationship gets, that doesn't excuse going and entertaining other people. That's, oh, I've got a hair in my mouth. But yeah, I am. Funny enough, I thought of you the other day. I saw a video of this guy literally begging his wife. She was stating, we have an open relationship or it's a divorce, because he had been cheating and she'd caught him. And he was there like, no, 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 we've been married this long, we've got 3 kids together, all this. He's like, I want you. And it's like, and she was very clear, like, no, open relationship or divorce, or open marriage and, or divorce. I get where she was coming from, but yeah, and you sort of thought his wife and his children and everything weren't enough for him while he was with another woman, but now his wife was putting it on the line. So, but
So
no,
is she cheating on him,
no,
or
he was cheating on her.
he was cheating on her. Okay.
So she's basically
Well, this
saying,
is.
you want to cheat, that's fine, but so am I going to.
I know, guys. I know. I bring it up to you
I
because
was
it's a,
disgusted by it, to be
yeah,
honest.
it's a very tricky question, because if a man is high value and he knows his value and he knows that the woman is with him because of the value that he can provide for her, such as resources, and then if a woman chooses to leave him, she realizes that she would have to start over with another guy, and then she doesn't want that. So the question is here, like, men don't cheat without a reason. Okay, well, there are some who are just like really bad, man, but usually the reasonably nice guys who marry to begin with, they want to settle, they want a marriage, right? And then they need a very good reason to start cheating first. So why do men start cheating? Guys, this is a question for you in the chat. Let us know, what do you think? Because I've seen marriages where men are just like, well, the wife just sucks the brain so hard that what's left there for a guy? He wouldn't leave her and the children. He would still be providing for them. He would still be taking care of the children and her, but he doesn't want to deal with her as a person because she's constantly nagging, bitching, moaning, and complaining. She's never happy with him. But because it's too late for him to undo the children, let's say, you can't put them back, right? Once they are born, they are born. Then he's like, okay, I'll go sort out my problems elsewhere, and then I'm still in the family. I still love her, I still take care of her, and it's like, I've seen both, like, yeah, there are some men that are like not nice, but then women usually don't marry those guys. Women marry the guys who can take care, who can provide, who are reasonable men, yeah, the guys who are constantly spinning plates, they have fun with those women. Okay, we can open our legs, have fun with you guys, but then they realize that this is not the bad guy is not the guy to marry, and then she waits until her epiphany phase kicks in. She realizes that she'd better settle. She'd better find somebody who would take care of her later on, and then she decides to be with this guy. But then how she treats this guy. Men don't cheat without reason. They need a good reason for cheating. This is what I've seen. Happens a lot. And yeah, we can set like the boundaries and everything. This is why it's important when you date to find the to do the vetting, the investigation, as much investigation as you possibly can, based on the objective criteria, not just based on the emotions and feelings and other spiritual bullshit that we've been debunking here. Yeah, you need to think rationally, guys, when you are choosing the partners. Okay, let's see what guys say here. Okay. Men cheat if women don't set good boundaries, or if you can't get what you want from your woman. See? Are you a man by any chance? Emperor?
That is a man.
That is a man. Yeah, looks like it's a man. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, if reasonable men, the ones that we also need to look at both from both angles, we need to look how a woman views and then also how a man views. We can't just say that, oh, just because a woman didn't set the boundaries. Okay, maybe the man had to set the boundaries too there, because it's a relationship. It involves two parties. We can't just blame one guy because he cheated on his wife. What led him to cheat on his wife. Maybe she was depriving sex in the relationship, and women use it. Women use sex as leverage over men. They don't provide enough sex. They think that once they get the guy is theirs, and legally they are protected. If the guy chooses to cheat, the woman has no consequences. If a woman chooses to cheat, then it's all about emotions and, oh, but he didn't provide me the emotional support that I needed, you know. But then when a man cheats, it's like, oh, he's such an evil creature. You know, if we dig into both, we need to debunk both, okay? The behavior, the bad behavior of both people, no, not just one party. You know what I mean? Somebody agrees. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next one. I know this one is tricky. Think about it and bring up your comments, guys. Write them down under the video, okay? So we've determined that, yeah, it depends on the situation. And yeah, okay. Female frame versus masculine frame. Who should lead in the family? Who sets the tone in the relationship? So basically, if she sets the tone for the relationship, the guy must follow her rules. And then women make rules for submissive, subservient men, and then break rules for strong, masculine, rational men. Let's talk about this. What do you think?
I mean, the men should be leading. Pretty short answer there.
Yeah.
When they don't, it's only a matter of time before
a woman decides she needs a stronger, more masculine man who can lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true. What do you think, ladies?
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's like a decent dude, it's not like in a bunch of like weird stuff or illegal stuff, or but I guess that comes down to making good decisions about who you choose to be with, like romantically or otherwise. But at the same time, like some people like the trick there is that the more like effed up someone is, like the better they're going to be at like hiding their true self. And so you can literally know them for decades. And then as soon as like you're legally bound to them, then like their real self comes out and it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
So I mean that can, yeah. Now obviously you do the best with like the information you got, but you can never have all the information going into something. But yeah, ideally you want to at least have a good indicator that yeah, they're gonna be a good partner, and like someone that you're not gonna have to the cat's going crazy.
That is so funny.
We carpeted that pole just for her.
Oh gosh. I have a dog here who wants attention. He's been trying to climb on me. He's so cute. Indy.
Oh.
Yeah, the more investigation, guys, you do before you commit to a person, the better. And it can take you a long time to figure out the person that you are with. So yeah, spend your time instead of committing. And especially for men, it's so frustrating to see men who engage themselves with women without investigating women based on the rational criteria. They just look at the women, they see cute and available, the tongue pops up, like in Tom and Jerry, when he was like, heart is beating like this, the eyes pop out, and then the tongue falls out, and this is what I see. Sorry, guys. A lot of men do with women, especially cute women on social media. You need to turn your brain on and think rationally. Okay, not just based on those factors. You have another head between your ears to take a smart, rational decision. So please use that one instead of, something else. So Emma, what do you think?
I agree. The man should be the head of the household.
Cool. Okay, you're welcome to disagree here. You just need to
No,
defend your viewpoint. I'm just saying, like, yeah, don't be scared to disagree with us, guys. Yeah, just tell us what you think, okay? Cool. So we've agreed on that pretty much. In the chat, guys, let us know what you think also, okay? And then we have dating coaches, the authors who say, "Man of God." I was just rereading the Bible, actually, the beginning of the Bible here.
I was trying to refrain from actually bringing in the Bible because I won't go into what it was, but I got quite a heavy religious background. And it was very much emphasized what the Bible teaches, that the man is the head of the household and the head of the man is God. And we were very much like women should be subservient. We should not ever bring any shame to our man. Like if you're in public, and like there's a discussion and you didn't actually agree with what your husband was saying, wait till you're home, and say to him, I didn't really agree with that. You don't bring it up in front of
don't
people.
humiliate him in front of people. I have this kind of attitude to my husband. I don't always agree with him, but I never say it publicly. Even when I know that he might be wrong, I'm just like biting my tongue in there.
And even as a single woman, it was frowned upon hanging out with married men or anything,
Yeah. True. Yeah, and this is what I've been reading too. And the man is supposed to be the leader of the household. The woman is supposed to obey and help the man, not not castrate the man and take charge. But we see these gurus who say the son of God. This is why I brought it up to you guys here. Oh, man of God, listen to a woman, obey her, and do as you are told. Okay, I have a voice message here for us to analyze. Let's see if I can dig it up quickly. If not, we will leave it till the end and we will do it at the end. Okay.
I
Okay,
feel
here.
like that depends on the context a lot. Like if I'm out on like a nature walk, with the herb guild, I'm like, don't eat this. Like, probably best to listen to me.
Well, true. If a woman knows more about certain topics, then sure, you trust her, right? You trust her judgment. But when it comes down to like taking important movements or like big family decisions, and if it involves like money and finances, and the man is the one who is providing for the family, he needs to have authority for the services that he is providing. Because I'm going to quote Rollo here, Rollo Tomasi. If he only has 100% of responsibility and zero authority for everything that he is doing, it's slavery. Responsibility without authority is slavery.
So what about like when the female's like the primary or only income earner in a relationship? Then like does it get reversed, or like by nature, like should she still be doing all the cooking, all the cleaning, like the romantic stuff, and like going to work for like 8 to 10 hours a day and like bringing home the paycheck and paying all the bills? Or like would there be a reversal? Obviously that's not an ideal situation, but it does happen.
It does happen. It's frustrating to see what happens to women who do it, who like then in that case, and they often ask themselves this question: why do I need a man if I'm already doing everything that a man should do for me? I already provide for myself. I already pay my own bills. I already take care of the children, let's say. And in that case, like the government helps her out for sure, with all of the support that she can get from there, right? Or she can get the alimony and child support from her ex-husband. She doesn't need a man. I would say like
alimony from an ex-husband if they never made any income like during the marriage though. So but yeah, definitely like children are the golden ticket to getting government support. yeah, and you do see that happen a lot.
Yeah. And we have a comment here. That's an investment. He must be taking steps to improve his situation and take his place as a man in the near future. You're talking about relationship when you are looking into.
It sounds like he's talking about when a woman she ends up in that role of being providing and doing the other stuff. It's a ticking
Okay.
clock. He's saying
Okay.
that she's investing in the possibility that she's going to allow him the time and resources to get farther ahead so that she can relinquish the role over to him.
Yeah, usually women with resources, you talk to them, and guys, just to get some idea of what women want, go watch Access Vegas, the show that Rollo Tomasi and Mike Sartian are running. It's a decent show. It will give you some idea because they invite these women who are self-fulfilled, let's say. They don't need men. They just use men as toys, kind of, and they're self-sufficient women, they are independent, strong, they can do anything by themselves. They're usually former porn stars, but I'm just saying to you, like, they make a lot of money. Okay, they make a lot of money, and these are the girls that get invited to the show, and you can get some idea of what women of that status want, the ones that have a lot of money, that are independent. Some of them might have even children. They want a man who is even more than them, when they've reached the peak, let's say, they are so powerful, strong, and independent that they don't need a man, like just any man, but they want a man to be like even better than them. And if you look at the female delusional calculator, how many men are actually that they want, it's going to be like less than 1% of the world population of men, that could do that. But then you have to ask yourself a question: would this man want to deal with the former porn stars who have the body count of more than 1,000 men, or like 100 men out there? The STD risk goes up really quickly, and the question is whether this high value man that these ladies wants to deal with these women. This is something that women are struggling with. Once they mess up, they think that they deserve the second chance. Coming back to that second chance. And it's frustrating to see what feminism has done to women, honestly. In addition to ruining the gender roles, the marriage unit, the family, it's very sad to see what happens to women. They are very entitled and very delusional. I understand their way of thinking. Like, look, if I were a strong, independent woman with lots of money out there, I would be probably thinking the same thing. Like, why would I need a man who can't give me better than what I have, right? But at the same time, I'm not that woman, and I'm happily married to my husband, because I think that yeah, it's not about the money only. Money plays in effect, money is important, but the relationship needs to be there too. You need to respect the man that you're with. Yeah. So let's listen to the message.
Sorry.
Yes. Do what women tells you, from that man of God guy who talks about religion.
When your woman says don't like pictures of other women, do not do it. When she tells you not to entertain messages from other women, you better not do it. It's not being immature or being possessive, but you're giving her a reason not to trust you. You are only giving her a hard time. She's not being dramatic. She's telling you something that bothers her. For you, it might just be small, but at some point for her, it makes her question your loyalty.
I guess that depends on like the specifics in the nature. If it's, like a longtime friend, like, for a woman to be like, don't talk to your friends, like regardless of the gender, it's like, well, that's a bit much. If it's just like random like floozies on Instagram. I mean, if I were in that situation, it was like bothering me, I would just be like, well, go get some Instagram floozies. Like, you know, I wouldn't fight over it. I would just leave and be like, I want you to be happy. Go be happy. It's not going to be with me, you know?
So you would say that the man that you are with won't be allowed to look through some floozies on Instagram or like watch some porn, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, it like again, it depends on like the context, but you know, then you get into the 3 A's there. Like pornography is definitely like a huge addiction. You know, so I mean, if that's a common like reason for like not staying with someone, and you know, it definitely can affect relationships. You know, in certain ways, but
Is she applying the same standards to herself as well, though?
yeah, I mean, she would have to, otherwise she'd be a hypocrite.
She, you know, I mean, if her partner turned
But
around
yeah,
and said,
she's
"Don't be
like-
sleeping with guys," is she going to get upset, or is she going to go, "Yeah, that's fair"?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be both ways. I feel like
Mm.
like you got to be considerate for like, you know, the other person's, you know, wants. And like I said, if you're just not on the same page about that, you're not on the same page, and don't try to force a relationship out of it, like, because everyone's just going to get frustrated.
Well, then we have to watch how much attention women get on social media versus how much attention men get. And it's usually women who get most attention on social media. So if you post a cute picture of yourself on Instagram, for example, you're going to get more attention from the simping guys out there than a man posts one picture. Like, look for Sam, for example. I bring it
Oh,
up, Sam,
God,
not
here we
just
go.
to throw you under the bus a little, but
Oh,
okay, just to see the comparison a little bit. You post some really cool stuff, right? You don't actually have a lot of followers. Oh, guys, if you happen to know Sam, go follow him. He's awesome. And what happens there is for him to get attention from women. I think Rollo brought up the statistics. It was 80% of men who are deemed unattractive. Women don't bother with them. The women don't even like, they just ignore. They are wallpaper for women. Okay. And then only 4.5% out of 20%, and 20%, 80 to 20% rule, Rollo was explaining. And guys, go, you can check a full video of it. Last week, he was talking about it during his podcast. 80 to 20% rule is 80% are guys that are unattractive. Women will ignore them completely. 20% have a small chance. It's not to say that they are attractive. It's just like, okay, they are in the 20% category, out of which 4.5% only are considered attractive, that women are actually interested in. So when we look at social media, only 4.5% of men get through. They get like all of the women that are interested in them. Well, maybe not all of them, but all women are interested in 4.5% of those men out of the 20% who have a small chance. So is it fair when we look at social media? For example, Melody posts a cute picture of herself in a slinky dress, just an example. Okay. I mean, I love you, dear. This is why I'm going to kind of pick on you a little bit. You post a cute little picture of yourself, then Sam posts something that's kind of brain related, or like makes a cool post. Who is going to have more viewers? Who is going to get more attention?
I only have like 11
I know you're not the best example, but let's look at the other girls out there, like yoga instructors out there, semi-naked clothes. We debunked a lot of it last week. Guys, go check out that longer format video that we did. Okay, she was nearly wearing, like, you could imagine the rest. Okay, just the slinky, almost underwear. Okay, lifting her leg up. This kind of girl, or Sam, or any other dude out there who is just there like to make some friends and for network, and because everybody else has Instagram, so why not? Who is going to get more attention and more clout?
I mean, I've been through MOA, so my IG's pretty fire.
I know, but nobody really knows about it since you brought it up. Okay,
But yeah,
that's good, you know. But
typically
like
women.
on average, right? If an average dude posts a picture versus this yoga instructor who exposes herself semi-naked, who is going to get more clout?
Well, I mean, the woman. That's also like because you're using a pretty much strictly like visual form of media there, and that's what men are just biologically triggered by. But I feel like that doesn't like transfer over to like the real world like quite as well.
So coming back to the
And
first
also like
question,
visually, like women are only like really when they're ovulating is really the only time that they're like visually like like excited by men. Otherwise, like they're not in breeding mode, and like they're gonna be far more swayed by like kind of discussion like who that person is versus a man who's like always always ready to go just from a biological standpoint, whereas a woman's only ready to reproduce, very, very small window of time every month.
well, let's come back to the first question. We'll come back to the visual, right? Men are visual, they buy with their eyes. So when a man watches porn, for example, it's no different than a man browsing through Instagram through those floozies with semi-naked clothes, right? You would agree with me on that because Instagram has become this dating app. Women expose themselves, especially if you look at fitness instructors. I get frustrated when I receive some weird comments or also on my YouTube channel, like can you do this flow without a bra, or again, I'm like, what do you think I'm about here? Okay, but they get this idea that it's okay to ask because they see that overexposure of that kind of content on Instagram too. Not just OnlyFans. I always refer them, go to OnlyFans. You'll find more variety there. Just. But no, they see it on Instagram as well. Instagram is no different than OnlyFans on a broader spectrum if you look at it, and if you actually pay attention to the content that is being posted there, especially in the fitness industry. This was my main concern and complaint recently, that fitness is over-sexualized. People are no longer interested in staying fit and healthy. They want to see the semi-naked girls out there doing some crazy poses. It's a different form of porn, I would say.
It's a funnel marketing. That's all it is.
It is. And then a lot of these girls, they also have like OnlyFans. Not surprised there. So Elena is dropping some truth there. Yeah, thank you, Emperor. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, I've been analyzing fitness content for a while now, for like a year or so since we started talking about these topics. And I can tell you, I have a lot of examples of the messages that are being sent out to women and men, also the misleading spiritual bullshit messages. They're like, manifesting, love yourself, you are so worthy, you are so enough. And there is no room for improvement for you there. We've already debunked those messages, but in addition to that, they facilitate and sell them thanks to these provocative pictures out there. And this is why men, in addition to being visual, they buy into these misleading messages as well, because they don't think rationally. You see? And this is why when I say that, okay, if your husband or boyfriend watches porn, it's not going to affect him any differently than him browsing through the Instagram.
I mean, it can though, because like the porn's a big wide world, and you're gonna see some really like messed up stuff if you just go looking for random porn versus like Instagram. And that's when people get into really dark areas of that, and potentially illegal areas of that, and then that just messes up their mind forever.
It does.
Yeah. That's not as likely to happen just with the content that's allowed on Instagram.
Well, if there was one lady, she posted herself naked, completely naked on Instagram. She only covered her nipples and her pussy with the stars. You saw that one. We've seen that one. I showed it to you guys. And she's a dancer. So that kind of content is allowed. But then when you say bullshit on Instagram, it goes like, it cuts it out because it's a bad word to use. I'm like, where does it why does it make sense? These girls who have OnlyFans channels and also use the Instagram through funneling, right? Creating more clout for themselves on OnlyFans. They can post themselves semi-naked, okay? But when you use some words, it just cuts it out. Something that is not popular, something that people don't like to hear. So how corrupt is other platforms? That's another separate question. And I think that social media is not bad per se. We can use it for good purposes, as I've mentioned before. But the problem is that we are like monkeys see, monkeys do. If women see other women posting this crazy stuff on social media, they're going to do the same thing because they think that it will lead them to the same results as these girls have who posted, who are successful in it. Not necessarily who actually get the money. And the idea is that they see a few great examples of the strong, powerful, independent women on Access Vegas or elsewhere, and they think that just because these women did it, I can do it too, and I will be as successful as those other women. But there are other factors that played into effect for these women to become successful there, and this is something that women today don't want to acknowledge. They see it, they want it, and they do the same thing over and over again, even though they don't succeed in it.
I've just been asking Chat GPT for helping me with my Instagram profile.
Yeah, well, you're doing fine. I mean, like, look, if your goal is to build clout, and then you know the answer to this question, go post yourself semi-naked. You will build clout. But yeah, I'm just telling you, I actually what was it? One girl who used to take in-person classes with me, and then I moved here online. She has been exercising for over 2.5 years with me, and she was telling me, "Why don't you show your butt online? You could get more clout." I'm like, I don't want that kind of clout. I want some people to bring more awareness to people, so that they wake up. But I don't want the simping horny dudes out there following me, because it comes with all sorts of problems later on. It's like you don't have private life. They stalk you. They, do all sorts of things, which is not nice. And
Not to mention that you're less valuable to men at that point.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's a tricky one. You can build clout very quickly, Melody. You are a pretty good looking woman. You have the body. You have everything you need. Yeah, just expose yourself. But then know that this exposure will cost you. And this is something that women don't want to think about. They think about now, they think about the present moment. How does it feed me now? I get the clout, I get the likes, I get the dopamine hit, I get the near-sighted benefits from it. But then 10 years from now, 20 years from now, imagine you have kids and then they say, "Oh, grandma was naked here on social media." Haha. You see? It can have very detrimental outcome for women, but it's something that is not being talked to. I mean, the Red Pill guys, they are trying to bring some awareness to women, but women don't want to hear it. Look, there are only 2 women, and then in the chat there was one guy. It's like, good luck convincing women out there. And honestly, I don't even know, when they say, "Do you know a single woman who looks decent and who has decent character?" I only know one so far. It's Melody.
Wait, I'm a man with decent character?
No, sorry. This is just from another one. No, a woman. How guys ask me, "Do you know a single woman who has decent character?"
Oh.
And so I'm like, I only have known one, and she has been proving herself for over like 2 years. Yeah, I can probably make a conclusion that you are a pretty decent woman.
Yeah, but my Instagram's gonna start getting ratchet with ChatGPT's help.
Good. Have friends who is beautiful woman, but she's starting to like another guy and feel like I'm losing my chance. Why do you feel that way? Super strong.
So, Mr. Elena, put that back up for a second, if
Okay,
you don't
yeah,
mind.
Sam, do it.
Um, it sounds like you're maybe a bit over invested in someone who's not that particularly interested in you, to be frank. And that is I can relate to what this situation is like, but ultimately when you're in that place, it's probably because this person is attractive, and you would like to be with them maybe in a romantic way at some point. But if you are seeing them being attractive or being attracted to other guys, then that instantly means that if you're not her boyfriend, you're her girlfriend. So if you are not like if you're not the attractive guy to her, and you're feeling this way, frankly your feelings are a result of your emotional investment. So if you're spending a lot of time hanging out with this person, you're her friend or anything like that, you should question, what are you getting out of the relationship, and like what is the result of you investing your energy into this friend, because frankly it's likely producing this result of, you want something to happen, but for whatever reason, and there can be a whole myriad of reasons that make men attractive or unattractive to women. Um, uh, but the stupid answer is work on yourself, King. But improve yourself, become more attractive in general, and try not to focus too much on this one person. I know you didn't really ask for advice, but you did comment, which means you are interested in hearing people speak about it, possibly.
And
But
here is another one, Sam, for you also. I know she's a little bit submissive. Should I try to be more dominant and try to keep her away from the other guy and make her mine?
okay, so the big problem here is the make her mine part. You can't make her do anything. All you can do is try to like exemplify all of the best traits of masculinity that you can, and she's either going to be attracted to you or she's not. And it's not about you should try to be more dominant. You should, because that makes it sound like it's a disingenuous act, or it's an effort you're making outside of just being yourself. So what you should try to do is learn, start reading as many books as you can, watching as many people as you can, work on some self-improvement. Um, and again, it sounds like you're pretty focused on this one girl. And you know what may come as a result of all of the self-improvement that you do for the sake of your own mental point of origin, right? Is that she ends up like becoming attractive to you, but that's not something you should not do it to get her attracted to you. You should just do it to become more attractive. And in general in life, that will help you out and it will take you a lot farther. So I would say no, do not try to keep her away from the other guy and make her yours. In fact, any energy you expend to like try to do that is automatically likely going to make you less attractive and less appealing to her, because if she's interested in the other guy and you get in the way of that, she's not going to want to be your friend. That's going to be problematic. So I would say focus on yourself.
Focus on yourself and make yourself attractive to not just one woman. This is where Rollo was talking about oneness paralysis, when men just are so focused on one girl. And remember that okay,
And read
thank
the
you,
Rational
man.
Male
That
books by
helps.
Rollo Tomasi.
Yeah. Go
Start
watch
there.
Rollo Tomasi, super strong. He also has the books, so you can read the Positive Masculinity book, where he was talking about the oneness paralysis, when men are just so focused on one ideal girl. And he was debunking the soulmate myth, where men believe that, oh, there is this just perfect one girl that I can be happy with. What you should probably do, I would agree with Sam, focus on yourself and make yourself attractive to other women too. Not just one girl, but so that you have a choice, you have an option to spin plates. And if she sees you later on successful, because pre-selection is very big with women, right? They see a guy. This is why if you watch Mike Sartian, for example, he's always surrounded by the girls in the bikini. I know it's kind of an extreme example here, but if she sees you having fun with other women, she might rethink and she might reconsider and say, there is something that this guy can provide apparently to other women, especially if you find other attractive women, then yeah, she might reconsider and she might actually find you as more attractive than the other guy that she's currently interested in.
I feel like women who play that game though are typically like pretty shallow. Like, so I don't know. I mean, depending on your strategy though, like, yeah, it's a great strategy for getting particular types of women. But
well, the women who surround Mike Sartian I mean,
yeah, it's like the type of women who are gonna see that and be like, oh yeah, I want to be in on that. Like any like self-respecting woman who's, I don't know, just not into that whole weird game is gonna be like, yeah, whatever. And I mean, another thing about I don't know, like humans have, I mean, there's still animals, they're primates, and like, and all other primate species, the most dominant males are the ones with the blankest face. Like they don't have the big displays of machismo. And like women who kind of like really understand how things work, like they see these displays of machismo and they're like, ha, beta. And then they're not interested.
It depends also.
It's like a real man, like a man who's just like the alpha doesn't need to do anything. And like when a woman's like ready, or female, in the case of, non-human primates, female's ready to breed, she's going to approach him like he doesn't need to put on like a big show. He doesn't need to be out there pounding his chest or like, making sure all the women are like, surrounding him all the time. Because that's what the betas are doing. Because they're trying to get into that alpha state. And so they have to actively work for it.
There is some truth.
So like women who have like really looked into it, they see that sort of behavior. And it's, I don't know. It's funny, it's like watching Discovery Channel or something.
Yeah. Sam, what do you think about what do you think about the strategy? Let's not go against Mike here or anything. It's just like the guys who surround themselves with multiple women so that they can. What are they trying to achieve there?
Well, so it's I guess I'll try not to give away too much inside information here, but like the it's about more than just pre-selection. Having female, there's like two things going on, right? Because we're basically talking about using Instagram combined with pre-selection to make it appear like you are pre-qualified by other attractive women, that you are at least not a weirdo. Like that's kind of like the main point and the main value that you gain. There's a whole bunch of other like side attributes that you gain that just add more value. For example, if you're like, most of the time if you're doing this, you end up making female friends, and the premise of from this point of view is that if you're making female friends, women are going to usually calibrate you better than most other of your friends, your male friends will. They're going to be willing to tell you things just because they're women, and it's just the way they communicate about certain things. Like maybe I like wearing my shirts inside out, and my female friend that I'm hanging out with one day is like, why do you do that? That's weird. Like the second that she says that, it's from a female's point of view, so by definition it's weird, right? So if I am doing something that is, the term that we normally use is calibrated or uncalibrated, right? So if I'm doing stuff that's uncalibrated and makes me appear like a weirdo, then I would like to not be doing that. So to generally be a more calibrated man. And it's not necessarily about like fitting a mold or fitting into society, but like it kind of is, because like it's a social game. We're very social creatures. So like to be part of it at a certain level, you have to be calibrated to a certain point. So the hanging around the beautiful women part is just like there's varying degrees and varying levels of applying it, but ultimately it's there's sort of a lot going on. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think a lot of times people see that kind of behavior and they're like, "Oh, what a bunch of fake bitches! Oh, they're ratchet and they're sluts and they're they don't, or they're like maybe they're smart and educated and all these other things, but like, oh well, they have an OnlyFans, so they're automatically disqualified." But
Yeah.
at the same time, eh, they are like they're helping. I don't know. I've lost my train of thought there, but ultimately, I think it's a good thing. Like you're not going to
Well,
have a
and
worse off life by being able to be around attractive women.
yeah. And you don't have to be in a relationship with those women. You can have fun. You can talk to this women. You can. It's like I get it. I understand why he's doing it, but like from female, like I kind of agree with Melody. Because she was like, yeah, but it only attracts like the certain type of women, and the women who actually have like decency, and let's say like Leonardo DiCaprio, right? We wouldn't go for him, right? I know I've talked to Eamma many times about Leonardo DiCaprio before, and then Melody, right? But there are certain types of women who would, so I would say that it's just a type. You can surround yourself with a different type of women, not necessarily that, but as long as they are attractive and also maybe smart, like they have biology degree like Melody does, so she can talk about different topics from the biological standpoint and explain to us the basics of humanity, right? uh, then it's a different type of women that you can attract yourself with. So the girls in the bikini, yeah, Sam is effectively doing a similar thing here. We are just slightly maybe more intellectual. We don't show ourselves like semi-naked on social media, but it's effectively the same thing. It's pre-selection, right? So we have approved Sam. He's a cool guy, and you don't have to go with the slots if you don't want to, but if it's your type, if it's the type that you want to be surrounded with because you want to build a certain image for yourself, that you are that kind of guy who gets this nice women. And it's not to say that all of like they're stupid. Some of those women on OnlyFans that get invited to Access Vegas shows, okay guys, just a disclaimer here, they're pretty smart. They have degrees. They can talk about different topics. The problem is that making money on OnlyFans is much easier than pursuing those degrees. This is why they are doing it. It's not to say that they are smart for doing what they are doing, or it serves them. Like, I don't think it's a good thing that they do it because they're aiming for the shortcut.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I
Well,
agree.
lazy is what I said.
Lazy, yeah, and crazy too, to some extent.
Yeah.
They're being lazy, yes, they're choosing the easy path of money.
That's not a sign of a good partner. You don't want a partner who's always looking for the easiest path to take. Like, so, but I think, yeah, and what Elena kind of touched on, what I was getting with is like the harem that you surround yourself with, like you will increase it in size with a similar type. And so, like, if you have like a bunch of women who are like super beautiful, but also super smart and like not into OnlyFans, and I know dudes like this, and like they always have like all these really like awesome, beautiful, fun women around them, and then they just kind of keep adding more as they go through life. And same with guys who have like female friends who are really beautiful, talented musicians, if that's their thing. They're, because that's the type of women that you're going to attract. Whereas like, a really beautiful and talented and intelligent like woman who sees like all these like bimbos in bikinis out in public just like fawning over some dude, it's like, yeah, that's not really my thing. And so they're not going to be like, that harem will be a deterrent.
Because you are a different type. I'm not attracted to Mike, or I understand why it works, but I'm not personally attracted to him. And it speaks for, like, I would be attracted to maybe some other guy who could have a decent conversation with a woman who maybe has a biology degree, let's say, or like something, and she's not she's doing the hard work. She's actually working in that field. She is not looking for the shortcut. I actually respect the women who bring some value to our society, not just to the ones who look great. It's important. Yes, looks are important for women, but we have to be also rational to some extent. We can't just like, oh, looks is what I have, so I'm going to do everything, base everything, gamble all of it on my looks. And then you see what happens to them later on when they become very entitled. So the moment they realize that they can get away because of the looks, if the girl has been told that she's a princess since she was 6 years old, she's going to have a very crappy attitude, and she's not going to succeed with men. She's not going to be in a stable relationship later on because of your attitude. She will believe that she's entitled to good attitude because she is a princess. She's been told that way. And then she will not want to work on herself. She will not want to improve herself because of what she's been told. So yeah, it's important for women to be rational, but only being in a stable relationship with rational men and surrounding yourself with rational men who can tell you the truth, who can tell to you, look, lady, you are not as great as you think you are, or even surrounding yourself with rational women who could tell you that, look, you are not a princess. You are a slut. Okay?
Well, like any decent woman, I feel like is gonna appreciate when people can be like upfront with her, because like that. How are you ever gonna improve yourself if like, people don't call you out on things that you're blind to sometimes? And I remember like one of my friends. This is like years ago. He's been like happily married to like a really awesome chick for quite some time now, but you were like hanging out at a party. He's like, you know what, Mel? I've always had kind of a crush on you. I was like, yeah, you and a whole bunch of other dudes. Just like totally bitchy about it. And he was like, wow, that was really kind of a bitchy thing to say, Mel. I was like, yeah, that really was. That was uncalled for. Like I could have.
No, but if it's true, then you actually solve this guy a favor by telling him, okay, how are you different from all the other dudes who are simping for me here? Because women don't respect simps. It's within our nature. So maybe by telling this to him, like, look, you and everybody else out there who are simping, maybe you shouldn't simp. Maybe you should do something else, just
maybe.
to get
But I mean,
attention.
there's like ways to like treat people with like some decency and respect when they haven't actually crossed any lines. I feel like in general, I don't want to just like crush people. Like that's not what I'm out to do. But I realize like, ooh, I do have that capability. Like maybe I shouldn't be a bitch and I should kind of like watch how I turn people down.
Yeah.
It's a real battle you have to bear. Yeah. Poor Melody.
Yeah, Melody is cute. We love you, Mel. But we don't want your ego to go too big, so we will trim it down a little bit so that you don't.
Thank you. Because yeah, like I said, I need to be aware of my blind spots and like where I'm not being a decent human being, and like I appreciate when people call me out on things. Like,
yeah. I think it leads to a healthy balance and relationship later on when you, for example, meet a husband or a guy. For ladies, listen to this, ladies. If you're not willing to listen to what the guy is telling you and to improve and work on yourself, because he tells you maybe not because he hates you, but he wants you to succeed, he wants you to improve. And you should have the humility to acknowledge that you are not this perfect human being that you are being told your entire life. Maybe there are certain things that you can fix about yourself. Maybe there are certain things that you can work on. Maybe if it's the gym, go hit the gym, start exercising. Because the guy is telling you, look, you could lose a few pounds, not because he hates you, but because he loves you and he cares for you. He wants you to be healthy. He wants you to live longer. And this is something that women need to hear. And
I feel like
unfortunately,
so many men would be like terrified to even like bring that topic up to like
Mhm.
a female, though. Like just yeah, just kind of how the world is right
Especially
now.
when like getting laid is on the line.
Mhm.
Right, yeah. Because yeah, most women would probably get super pissed and
Yeah, when
Yeah.
sex becomes this tool that women trade and they take it away the moment the guy doesn't comply, or the moment a guy says something nasty to women, it damages women too. I was thinking about it because women love to fuck. You know, everybody loves to fuck. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had so many kids out of wedlock. How many is it? 38%. Correct me if I'm wrong. Of the children that are born in the marriages when the father is not their biological father. Okay, so
wait, within marriages, it's like 40% are
38, I think. 38, yes.
What?
And you can correct me, guys. I think I've heard it somewhere in the red pill. I might be
Really
mistaken. If
high,
somebody
but
from the red pill watches it, please correct me. I think it was 38% of children that were born in the marriages, but the wives have cheated on their husbands, and the guys are taking care of the children who are not their biological children. And I actually shared a story with you earlier this week on Instagram. If you're following me, I sometimes do that. There was a guy and he was prosecuted. He was in prison for 5 years because he refused to pay the alimony for the child who was not even biologically his child. They took 5 years of his life. They ruined the man's life because his slutty wife wanted him to be accountable for the child that she made elsewhere. It was not his child, and he was imprisoned for it.
Then at the end, she's like, "I didn't do anything wrong."
Yeah, and then she should be in prison. I agree with that guy. I'm like, women should be held more accountable where they choose to spread their legs. And what comes out of it. It's not to say that I don't like kids. Kids are innocent here, but the woman, that's a big question. That's a big question because when she marries the guy, it needs to be closed on her end too, but they don't want to do that. It's okay for her to cheat and sleep and fuck around, but for the guy, he's not even allowed to watch porn. If he's watching porn, something is wrong with him. Yeah, but when you trade sex and when you eliminate sex from the relationship out of the bloom just because he told you something, go sweetie, exercise. I don't want, you're not allowed to eat another ice cream or cake because you're already obese and fat. And then she says, okay, I'm cutting out sex here. And then he's not allowed to cheat. He's not allowed to do anything. Come on. You just castrate men without actually cutting their penis off. Like just mentally, you know, the testicles. Yes, you are effectively doing it, ladies, without doing it for real. But this reflects on his manhood, and then you want to go find another Chad to play around with because he has still the testicles and penis in place. And it's metaphorically speaking, guys, okay? He has the masculinity. And this is what women don't understand. They want to have control and power the moment they are in the relationship with the guy. So he is a subservient imbecile, but they don't realize that they will be fed up with this imbecile very soon. Yeah. And then we have a comment here. I tell people, be yourself is horrible advice. Yes, it is. It is a bad advice, especially when they do crazy things, when people misbehave. And look, we live in a society. There should be social norms that prevent us from doing
Back in a
certain
sec.
things. Huh?
I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. Yeah. Look at yamas and niyamas in yoga. You need to look around you. It's not just about, oh, be yourself, me, which we see a lot in yoga today. This is my problem with yoga. This is my problem with fitness today. There is a lot of bullshit out there. And then be the best you and try to attract what you want. Oh, that's the advice that you give to people, Emperor. Yeah, be the best version of yourself.
I would say I would tweak that a little bit and say attract everything, and then you can filter through the garbage.
Well, that seems like a hassle.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
That's more work than I want to deal with.
Yeah. Attract what you want. I kind of like it how it sounds. But again, if you are delusional, you will attract the things that you think you deserve. You know, if you look at the delusional women, they want a lot of things. They want the clown, they want the money. We've debunked a lot of that bullshit before in the previous one. And then, yeah, sure, while somebody else is funding for it, they can still do it. But then what happens when it's no longer available? And we already see men check out. Men don't want to deal with women anymore. And the problem, like, we need to ask ourselves why. Why don't men want to commit? If it's because of that case that I shared with you on social media, that guy who was imprisoned for somebody else's kiddo when he refused to pay alimony, that could be a good reason. If I were a man, I would not want to deal with women today. It's like, why?
I don't know, it's just as common as like men, they still want to commit, but they just get so burnt out by like the search for something like decent enough to commit to that then they're just kind of like, I'm over it. Like I've seen that happen like with numerous friends. Like they get out there, they get in the dating world, and it's just like bullshit after bullshit. And then finally they're just like checking out. But they still like,
Okay, Melody, you're cut out.
I'm frozen.
And frozen. That's
What
right.
a face to freeze on.
I'm going to use it for the thumbnail.
No. Don't do that.
I know. Oh, it's so cute. Let me take a picture of this.
Jeez. Poor Melody.
I know, right?
It's the perfect face for if you're going to freeze on it.
Yeah.
I know. Melody, you are
Are you
back.
back?
Oh, she
Nope.
disappeared.
Probably gonna reset her problem or whatever.
Yeah.
If Super Strong is still in the chat, he can hit me up on Instagram if he wants to talk privately about anything at samuel.d.stevenson.
Go follow Sam, and I'll put Eamma also on our at the beginning. I should add here. Yeah, interesting topics, guys. Let's look what else we have here. Yeah, we've kind of talked about the female hypogamy when a woman maximizes her options. It's not a straight jacket. Open on her end, closed on his end. We've talked about that. Oh, this is an interesting question that I'd like to ask you, ladies. Should women give up their Instagram for a man? Or should women give up their husband or boyfriend for their Instagram? Or can they do both?
Depends what content they're putting up. I mean, if they're going to be disrespecting their partner with their Instagram, like i.e. semi-naked and all that, then maybe they should refine it a little bit.
Yeah, but then once the content is out there, you can't take it back, because
Yeah.
some people can use it for other purposes. Instagram is internet. Ladies, this is something you don't want to hear. Well, it applies to guys too. Once it's out there, it's out there. Okay, you can't take it back, even if you delete it later on, even if you refine it. Once it's there, it's there. This is why I always keep saying to the fitness instructors, be careful with what messages you send out to people. Because yeah, you can block me for not commenting nicely on your content, but it's still out there. Somebody else can rip it apart if they want to. And then a person can have multiple accounts to still get to your content. And there are things that people can do. It involves some techie skills and maybe some digging, but it's possible, so you have to be very careful. Okay, Mel, I don't remember what we were talking about when you got frozen. Do you remember what you were saying?
No, sorry.
Oh, okay, let's move on. So here is the question for you. Eamma already gave your answer. Should women give up their Instagram for a man, or should women give up their husband or boyfriend for Instagram? Or can they do both?
I guess it depends on what's more important to them. Like if their Instagram's like the most important thing in their life, they, shouldn't be with a guy who's concerned about that. I really don't care that much about social media. So, I mean, if some guy that is like super into is like, yeah, I don't want you to have like social media, I'd be like, okay, gone. Like, yeah, it's just, you're going to pursue your priorities. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
so you just have to decide what's more of a priority and then go from there.
Yeah, if your priority is the guy and to be stable in the relationship with the guy, then social media is like, look, if my husband told me that you need to cut out social media or remove it completely, I would give up social media for my husband. I don't care about social media per se. I'm putting the fitness related content. It's not to say that, this is why I'm saying, ladies, you can be smart about social media. It's a tool. It can be used for good purposes. It can be used for bad purposes. But you can't have both. If you want a decent man, if you want a high value man, you need to prioritize that relationship with a man. You need to prioritize him instead of the social media. And we will get into the religion in a few weeks, maybe, when that other guy joins us from the UK, where we'll talk about spirituality and touch up a little bit on religion, especially the modern religion today, when a woman prioritizes Jesus, I love Jesus, I love Jesus. I would stay away. If I were a man, guys, this is for you. If I were a man and you hear a woman saying, I love Jesus, Jesus is the best, I would stay away from this woman. You know why? Because these women are more interested in Jesus than the relationship with the man, with the real man. It almost feels to me like they're using Jesus as an excuse, as an escape, okay, from their real accountability, the commitment to a man, to a real man. We can dig into it later on. You can bring up your questions, bring up your observations and experiences to our discussions. Let us know what you think in the comments, okay? It's just a thought. You can elaborate on it, and then we'll dig into it a little more. Yeah.
All right. Well, I love Jesus. I love Jesus.
Yeah. Then what
She's
she tells
trash.
you. Yeah, then when she tells you that she prioritizes Jesus, she loves Jesus beyond everything else. But then there was another post. Oh my gosh, there was this whore, a woman, right, in like naked. So I don't remember. Maybe she was wearing a swimming suit, and she was saying, "Only God can judge me." And then the God says, "You are a whore."
That's awesome. I mean, I
What
think
did she expect? Did she really believe that the God would have forgiven her? The God would tell her otherwise, that it's okay to be a whore? What did she think was going to happen?
Well, most likely she's thinking she doesn't have to actually hear from God during her lifetime, so it doesn't make a difference.
Right, exactly. God, like we don't see the representation of God in any way, right? So you can come up with all sorts of crazy stuff. And there was one OnlyFans girl, I don't remember her name, guys, but it was there. And she truly believed that she was sent on that mission to provide sexual pleasures to men because it was her God's calling. The God told her to do that, and this is why she is doing it.
I'm pretty sure that's not what God was saying in the Bible.
Yeah, I'm like, where is it? Let's get back to the
Depends on
Bible.
which Bible you're reading.
Point it out.
There's all sorts of different scriptures that never got canonized. So I'm sure if you were to find some of them, you could.
It's probably in one of the books
That
that didn't make it into the Bible, yeah.
Let's look into some of the values, and we can also debate here. Okay, we can add on. In fact, I'm going to make notes here, guys, if you add some things, because I'm going to correct this presentation. Okay, so values that stable, mature, rational men and women want in each other. Okay, so what men want in women. Okay, here, her body count matters. The number of sexual partners matters. If she's a virgin, or if she's low body count, or if she's a whore. And then loyalty matters, compliance, submissive. Her appearance matters, how attractive she is matters, of course, because men are more visual, right? Shape and form in terms of fitness, right? If she's understanding, if she cares enough for the guy that she's with. And guys in the chat, let us also know what kind of values you would want in a woman. And then I watched a live stream by Rollo Tomasi. He brought up the insight. So if a woman has the insight and she can pick up on the mood of a man, like she can apologize for the mistakes, maybe she has said something wrong or she has done something wrong, that she can admit that she screwed up, like this kind of humility. If she's accountable for her decisions, for her bad choices, if she's grateful to a man, if she's appreciative of a man, and then sex, obviously, right? And then respect, sincere desire. If a woman really wants to be with this guy, she will break your rules, right? And then compatibility, maybe some house chores. A lot of guys even close their eyes. They don't really ask women to do much in the house. Then obviously childcare, codependence on a man, so that she's not like, I'm a strong, powerful, and independent woman. I don't need no man. No, she like biologically, and Melody can correct me on that. Women have a long cycle of producing a baby. They had to rely on a man historically while they were pregnant, because they couldn't do a lot of work by themselves. So they had to be codependent on the men to provide for them, to take care of them physically.
Well, at the same time, though, like women have, for long history been primary providers in terms of the real basics, and males are protectors. And it's actually one of the reasons why men like a booty bump is it's not actually the amount of fat on the butt that matters, but it's like the angle of the lumbar vertebrae there. You get vertebral wedging. Like basically it allows for a woman to be a very successful forager throughout pregnancy without risk of injury.
Mm-hmm.
That goes into like, attractiveness, but also that a woman, she needs a man for protection, but not so much for provision, at least like I said, very long-term historically speaking. And there's still some, physical remnants of that men still deem attractive. Like they see like that lumbar curve, like hyperlordotic curvature, and they're like, yeah, this one can pop out babies and keep me well fed.
Well, also, it's a kind of short term, but when she was taking care of the baby, the man would have to hunt, like
Well,
to
again,
kill.
it depends on where you're living and what your diet is, and that's getting into more recent history.
Yeah,
Like,
but I'm talking like old history,
well, yeah,
okay?
but old history is recent history in terms of animal evolution. So
Yeah. So the man would have to provide. They would have to take care. They would have to
I
defend
think they
from
have
other.
to protect has always
Right.
been the male's primary role, is to defend and protect.
Yeah.
Females have
And also
historically been the provider.
get the food. The woman would do like the house, the kids. Yeah, if you look at like very very traditional gender roles, but the men, they would have to bring
Well,
the
that's
food.
still getting into like modern. I say modern, meaning within the last 10,000 years history. Because and I mean traditionally it'd be the men who are like, because structure building and house building, that's part of protection. But as far as like the gathering the food and stuff is all, and even in like a lot of more modern but traditional societies, that's primarily done by females still. And you look at pretty much every animal group. I mean, whether it's lions, wolves, especially like hunting animals, it's always the females who are primarily doing it.
Really? I thought it was men. I'm like, how would women deal with the bear or let's say a tiger or
Well, I mean, when it comes to protection, but I mean, in terms of like food and stuff, it's just, I mean, people for the they're frugivores, is anatomically, physiologically what they developed from going back. And so that's one of the reasons why women can see like way more colors than men, because they're able to like at a further distance like differentiate like, oh, these berries are ripe, these are not, like these leaves are good, these are not.
Mhm.
But I mean, we live in a totally different world, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Now. So, but I
So
mean,
now-
there are
now, yeah.
like physical and like psychological remnants from like where we came from in terms of like prehistory, not like 10,000 years ago, but I'm talking like long ago, like
Mhm.
kind of the progression like through the ages, not just what people think of as a long time ago. Because in terms of like evolution and geology and just reality, like I mean, the total amount of time that humans have been here is such a small little blip of time. Like it's kind of irrelevant.
So here we have a few comments. Let's check on them, and then we will move on. Emperor says, "I like women who listen and who can change after we discuss things." Yeah, if the change is necessary, I would agree.
I think there's an interesting balance that is tricky to maintain, because if you're going to have discussions about things, on one side, if someone's never taught, they never learn. So you got to be willing to like help teach, and how overt that is can be a function of like the relationship. But on the flip side of it, if you try to do that too much, then it becomes negotiated, right? You don't want
Yeah.
negotiated compliance. So you'd rather have somebody come to a conclusion about something and decide, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. And that's a much better result. You're going to learn it. They're going to learn the lesson a lot better, and it's going to be a much more genuine change if that happens, than like basically negotiating for terms. So
Yeah,
there's a balance somewhere.
you don't negotiate for sex. It just has to be out there. This is something that men will have to learn how to just, and women also, they like, sex is non-negotiable, because if you deprive sex from yourself and from the man, the woman is going to find sex elsewhere.
I
Because
mean, unless she like just decides that's not something that she wants to be involved in.
I mean,
Like
Melody, you can
women-
only do it to an extent, especially with younger women, when there is still testosterone boosting. They are still interested in sex drive. It's still there. They will fuck somebody else if they deprive the sex from having sex with their husband or boyfriend currently. rest assured she's going to fuck somebody else outside if she constantly has like headaches, like she's not interested in, like, especially if she's young. The older women, the testosterone drops down, then it impacts the estrogen and the other hormones, like they go down along with it. So a woman loses the libido, so she's not that interested in having had sex, period, right? Because she's getting older. And yeah, the problem is the testosterone drop. While she still has it, she will have the sex drive and she will want to have sex. So when women punish men, their husbands, let's say, oh, he didn't buy me this piece of jewelry that I wanted, so no sex for you, dude, for a month, or until you buy it to me, then we'll see, then I'll have sex. But she biologically still needs to fulfill that sex drive. She still wants sex for herself, so she will go and find somebody else out there who can preserve his masculinity and say, look, sex is non-negotiable. We either do, or like, go out, I'll find somebody who doesn't trade sex, for the jewelry or for the services from me. So that's a tricky one. I've been reading a book. I forget to send you the book, guys. I'll put it in the description box. It was recommended for me by Red Pill Sore. Yeah, that book about the hidden female hormone, testosterone.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to. I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you guys.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll share it on Instagram and then I'll tag you. Okay, so you can read the book. Cool. And then we have Accounting Ship here. Thank you for showing up. I'm going to repeat my comment from the previous video. Okay, let's watch this comment. I'm a simple man. All I want is a little companionship, to be fed occasionally, and once in a while to get a pat on the head. I'm basically see, the problem with this limited demands for women, guys, I said it before and I'll say it again. When your line is so low for women, women don't want to work on themselves. You are not demanding enough things from women. Because you are okay with this minimum. It means that she can get away with bad things that she can do, and there will be no punishment for her because you don't demand much.
Well, he didn't say what kind of a dog he is.
Yeah.
Some dogs are very demanding. They get barky and they start nipping if they don't get what they want. So I mean,
yeah, it's like if your demands are simple, guys, like just to there, if it's only, let's say here, I thought you were sheep. No, you're a dog. Okay. Let's see here. If your demands for women are only appreciation of what you do, like occasional, oh, thank you, dear, and nothing else, well, maybe some food. Look how long this list is. Okay, and if you are only asking for two of the things, it's kind of minimum. Women are like, okay, you don't value yourself as much for me to provide you the services. Okay, when you are high value and you know that, you basically demand a lot of things from a woman and see if she complies or not, because you know that if it's not her, there will be another woman who will be interested in you as a man and in your resources. Okay, so this is something that you guys could work on. Yeah, try to see, like, if women comply with this kind of list, you can create more things for them. This is why I'm saying, like, add more things to it if you want to. But there are certain things that are non-negotiable, such as sex, such as respect, such as sincere desire. She either has it for you or not, and you can't negotiate it. This is what Sam was trying to tell you. You can't buy her respect. You can't buy her sincere desire for you. She either has it for you or she doesn't. Okay. And then women, for high value men, obviously, because we don't want a low value man, right? So she wants a financial stability, security, physical protection, parenthood investment, that the guy takes care of the children and provides for them and then puts them through college, right? And then shelter, a humorous guy would be nice. Then he is understanding, he's hardworking and busy. This is actually important. When I see, especially the relationship gurus, when they say, you can have this emotionally available man, he should be there for you. He should sacrifice his friendship. He should sacrifice all of his interests for you. Women don't want that. Women want a hardworking man who is busy with his things. Because this is the man that she can respect. When the man is always around and always available for her to cry on, he becomes her tampon, her emotional tampon. What do we do with the tampons? We just use them and then we toss them.
I hope so.
Why? You see? And then the man who can replace her with another woman who demonstrates that she's just an option for him. But he has multiple options. This is coming back to super strong comment. If you are still here, watch this. Okay? Women want a man who can replace them. They will have sincere desire for this man. They have to be a little fearful of losing this man. Jealousy is not bad. A little bit of jealousy when a woman is jealous of her husband or boyfriend, it spikes your interest. So this is what Sam was trying to tell you. Go have fun with other women, maybe. If you want attention from that girl, if you want to see whether she has interest in you or not. Okay, because pre-selection, if other women are interested in the guy, then it means that you are good, you are legit. When other women approve you, we can talk about typologies, the types of women that you attract. That's a separate topic, but the idea is that you still get pre-selected. Okay. So after Melody has approved the guy, the Blake, she said he's a good guy.
Pre-approved.
Yes, I believe her. I believe her judgment. And I'll treat him okay. Melody said that he is a decent guy. You see how it works? Pre-selection everywhere. And then he spends time with his male friends doing fun. Yeah, doing fun, dangerous things sometimes. I saw Sam, you were riding a bike in the woods, like in those Rocky Mountains. And I was like, wow. Keep it up, dude. It's so cool. It's so dangerous. But this is something that women like to see, you know, that you are not scared of doing some dangerous things. I'm not saying that you have to go crazy and nuts. Don't hurt yourself, okay? We still need
Yes,
you alive.
don't hurt yourself.
Yeah,
I
same.
would never.
Yeah, we still want you here. We love you here. You know, we appreciate you, and we don't want anything bad to happen to you. So you're not allowed to hurt yourself. But like demonstrating once in a while that he's capable of dangerous things, it tells to a woman that, oh, he can take care of me. He can punch the bad dude. You know, he is something that I really want, because then he would protect me from the bad tribe or the bad guy out there, right? And then what else? 100% responsibility and 100% authority. This is important. If a man doesn't bear any authority for his actions and the actions of his family, women disrespect that man. If he is just a slave, a woman is not going to respect him. Sorry, but not sorry. Okay, so then trustworthy, reliable man, if he is responsible, if he does what he says. This is very important. Yeah. And then masculinity. So he's physically and mentally healthy and strong. He behaves like a man, not like, okay. So he doesn't cry, he doesn't complain, because women don't really care what you guys are going through. You can share it with us out of the psychological experiment here that we are running.
You have some respect for a man if he can cry. I mean, obviously, if he's a complete crybaby, then no.
Yeah.
But men
There's
are,
a small quantity that can be used.
yeah. I
appropriate
mean,
amount.
men, or boys tend to be brought up that you can't cry, man up and you don't. But if a man, any man that I've been involved with that actually has cried, and I mean, I'm not meaning like constantly or anything, but on occasion, I actually have more respect for them, that they can actually be in touch with their emotions more and be able to cry.
Okay, well, Eamma, now it
It's
leads me to.
I mean, but yeah.
You just cooked a different question for you, okay? your comments, okay? Why do you want to connect with a man on an emotional level?
Who, me?
Yeah, you just say that it would help me to connect with a man emotionally. Why?
No, I have respect for him. I didn't. Well, I mean, I am looking for emotional connection with a man anyway. That's through my own personal history.
Okay, so you don't want the emotional connection with the man?
Yes, no. Of course I do.
Ah, you do. Okay. So why do you want to have emotional connection with a man?
Do I have to get into that here?
Like, okay, is it related to your history?
History.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
no, you don't have to, dear. Yeah, I was just curious, because this is what I hear often is being sold to women. This is why I bring it up to you guys, and we can maybe elaborate on it more. The dating coaches, they say to women that if you want to attract a man on an emotional level, we've seen it before, that kind of content, right? So what they're saying is that a man is emotionally dependent on a woman because he can't think for himself, he can't emote for himself. So they are implying that men can't really feel for themselves. This is why they need a woman to open up his eyes, because a woman brings that positive emotion to him, and they are trying to reach man's heart through man's emotions.
That seems like how you get a girlfriend, though. Like, right? I don't know. I've never tried to get a girlfriend, but it seems like that's the approach I would take if I was going after women.
Like to go emotional with women.
I mean, I feel like, yeah, men are attracted by looks and utility, basically. And then if you have like a halfway decent personality, like that's all it takes.
Yeah, but I'm talking about women here. So these dating coaches, they sell this message to women. They say that if you want to attract a man on an emotional level, so that a man becomes dependent on you emotionally, you see how they're trying to, like, men are not that emotional to begin with. They're not wired that way. Okay, that the brain works for men differently than it works for women. It's not to say that men
they
don't
are emotional, but I'd say that they're more rational about it. It's like,
yeah.
I've worked in, been the only female at work for most of my adult life, and like, yeah, guys cry, guys need to take days off. Like, they are like sensitive, emotional beings, but it's not like they aren't doing that because they had some like drama with one of their friends or something. It's like real things, and so, and yeah, and everyone's, it's there's a lot of like love and respect. Like, I feel like in general, like less drama. And so it's like when someone does get like emotionally upset in like a male dominated sphere, like it's real and that it's serious, and like everyone kind of like, comes to like comfort them and help them out any way that they can. And like, you still move on with life. But Yes, I just from like personal experience, like I just don't buy that like men are just completely emotionless, but they are more appropriate with their emotions, I'd say.
They can
Women tend to
dominate their emotions with the neocortex brain function. This is where women are lacking. Women are just into the feels before feels before reals. And the simping dudes out there, the white knights who are defending women all the time, who are convincing everybody else that women can do no wrong. Like this dude who was saying, do as you are told as a man. Don't have your own thoughts or anything. Just follow what your woman tells you. These guys operate under the idea that if they support women publicly, women will get more power on a socio-economical level, right? And then they think that women will love them for it. No, women are just using you to get more socio-economical power so that they can create more laws against men, against the 80% of the world male population. Because 20% right now are above average of dudes who might be considered to be attractive, right? But the rest of the guys out there, it's not serving you in any way. The statistics doesn't work for you, okay? And then when you buy into the bullshit of these gurus who are telling women attract the man on an emotional level, men are not wired that way, especially the men that they want, but they promise women this high value man to be emotionally available for her. It's just like a super idealistic guy out there, a unicorn who doesn't exist in most cases. Well, there are a couple of dudes. This is why women try to get an alpha dude and then break him into beta. This would be like ideal case scenario. The problem with that is that a woman stops respecting and having sincere desire for this guy the moment he breaks his frame. Because the moment he collapses, his masculinity is gone, she can twist him the way she wants. And this point when she can break him and she knows that he's manageable now, she no longer wants him. She disregards him mentally, and then she extracts as much resources as she can from from this guy, while she's looking for somebody else to replace this guy, somebody stronger, somebody more masculine. Do you see the problem?
Yeah, I feel like a guy being like, supportive of a female, again, like it comes down to like being realistic with like what's going on. Like, is this an actual issue or are you overreacting? But like, if it is an actual issue, I don't see it like,
Yeah.
say like a couple has a miscarriage and it's obviously very hard on both of them. Like, I don't have a problem with the man like taking some time off work to like just cuddle his wife and tell her everything's going to be okay. Like, I've seen that happen before, and I have respect for men who can do that, and I don't see it as like a breaking of their frame to like
Yeah,
do
but
that.
then
But if
it's
she's like upset because I don't know, some drama in the club with the ladies or whatever, and he's like, she's bawling about it instead of like telling her like, you just need to stop hanging out with these dumb bitches. Like, if he's like trying to comfort her, then that's a breaking of the frame. But again, so I think it totally depends on the situation, and that like in order to be like, in an actual really difficult situation, to be the one like able to confront that like with the female, that is a maintenance of the frame, rather than just like, oh, this is like stuff that I don't want to deal with, even though I'm involved in it. Like, I'm just going to pretend it didn't happen. Like, that's weak.
That's a sign of weakness. Sam, what do you think?
This is a very important. It's an important distinction to make, because there's, we can all agree that men and women have an emotional side, and that the danger in a man expressing emotion too often, not emotion, but expressing like
Feelings.
the soft, vulnerable side of the emotion. Because what we're talking about is not talking about like passion emotion. We're not talking about love emotion. We're not talking about those. We're talking about vulnerable emotion. We're talking about crying. So when you express that vulnerability, like there's value in showing that you're capable of being like that and that you're not just a emotionless, rock. But at the same time, the you need to maintain stoicism. You need to maintain your position as the foundation of the relationship. Like, yeah, life can throw crap at our lives in our relationship, but I'm still going to be like functional and solid, and I'm going to do what needs to be done. So like there's a mix to be had, and of course it depends on the situation. But sure, in extreme cases, it's appropriate and beneficial for like a couple to be on that level and for a man to be vulnerable in that case for a period of time. But at the same time, he needs to maintain the
Hmm.
like the foundation. That's my take on it.
Yeah. I was going to add that point, but then I got distracted with the other things we were talking about. I think, yeah, it's important to maintain the balance. And even when he takes days off to cuddle his wife, what's the extent of that? Would she push him into more depression, or would he tell her, okay, sweetie, I know, but life continues. We need to keep going.
Well, yeah, and that's
you
what
know?
they do. I mean, like at least, yeah, like the guys that I know, it's like, and that's just it is about kind of appropriate emotion, not just extravagant, extraneous emotion, just for the sake of being emotional almost, which yeah.
Yeah, we have Angus here from the piano community. Yes, good to see you, Angus. Yeah, feel free to hop in and tell us what you think about the topics that we are covering here. What should men want in a woman and what a woman wants in a man? Okay, so this is what we are talking about. And then we also have a rational with Hugh and others. That's a man that a woman wants. And then mental point of origin. That's what Sam was talking about. And we touched up on that. Self-enlightened interest first. Because if a man can help himself, then he can help others. Then he can help Hugh and take care of the family. If he's all about sacrificing himself for her, he won't be able to do other things. For example, I see some marriages fall apart because a man is so busy giving the woman the validation and respect and whatever emotional support she needs, but then he can't provide. He can't take care of his family, neither physically nor financially. Then marriages break apart. It's important. Yeah, self-enlightened interest comes first. Then can he preserve his frame? This is what Sam was talking about. Catch her bullshit and not fall for her manipulations, right? Even if she tries to do emotional, and they may seem to be innocent, they might start innocent, like she went through some trauma, right? But as Sam pointed out, does he allow those feelings to capture him and drag him into the drama and trauma, or he puts the full stop on it and says, no, we need to get here, and he kind of leads himself out and her along the way, right? So this is the kind of leadership we are talking about. Yeah. Okay, the next one, a modern one.
Hold on there, Elena. Go back a slide.
You back, okay.
No, I'm gonna call you out for being guilty of leaving some stuff off that list.
Okay, let's add.
You added all of the wonderful beta long-term characteristics. You didn't include anything about actual attraction.
Okay,
or
let's add
desire,
them.
let's
Hold
say.
on. This is why I'm asking you guys. Add them in.
Well, so it's like it's just funny because like these are the things that are like politically correct to talk about. We can't talk about the fact that it's like, oh man, I mean, I'd like for him to, have a huge dick, and I'd like for him to know how to use it, and all of those things.
Okay, I'm going to edit to use it.
I'm not gonna go into tons of detail here, but
I left a few. Okay. Well, the physical. Well, I said right. I did not include the attraction. Yeah. Which is sorry, guys.
he needs to turn me on. That could be one bullet point. That's like
yeah.
that's a plain way of putting it.
Cool. Yeah, thank you for adding that. If you have more for men, like what men are looking for in a woman, you can add also because you are a man, right?
You did pretty good. That's pretty. That's pretty
Okay,
broad.
this is
I mean,
pretty
it's
accurate.
like,
You can see I spend way too much time talking to men than I spend time talking to women.
They forgot ass and titties.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, that
Yeah,
does
I
vary
guess that goes
depending on
into
what the
shape and
guy's.
form, but I guess everyone's got their different preferences on.
Yeah, I mean, you could add stuff in there that's like less than appropriate to talk about, but
Yeah, let's not do that. We'll just put like the general description. It should be enough.
well,
So for
I
people
think when
to
you
know,
wrote in the word sex, like that was pretty plain. That's pretty vanilla.
uh,
You could even write good sex or great sex,
or
or actually no, just go beyond that and just be like mind blowing sex. You could write it that way, and
mind
then
blow.
it's
Yes, okay. Mind. I love that one. Thank you. Yes, mind blowing sex. Well, I wrote it down because a lot of guys would even agree to the starfish sex. It depends.
right, right. I
I
guess
heard
it
one of my
depends on you.
friends like describe once that like sex is like pizza. Like there's good pizza, but like if it's pizza, you'll pretty much eat it if you're hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, this is why I like sex.
If
And
there's
men can
pizza
decide
around and
for
you're hungry,
themselves what
you'll
kind.
probably eat it.
Yeah, it's welcome to the interpretation, guys. You can decide for yourself what kind of sex you want with a woman. Okay, I'll leave you that room for interpretation. Cool. And then yeah, I need to add the physical characteristics of the man, so he's attractive, right? Has to be physically
Yeah,
attractive.
women have like such different like I don't know opinions on like what's attractive though. I feel like I mean it's a lot more diverse than like what males consider attractive in a female.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. There's a book written about it, and I don't remember the name of it, but it's literally on the subject of like the 389 things that women find attractive about men. It's just like there's an entire
Yeah.
book written about that one premise. Very different. You're right.
Yeah. And like, yeah, out of those 389, like some things may not matter much to one particular woman that then like other things are like a total deal breaker. Like,
Sure.
So I feel like it's a little easier to kind of make a list of like a man's bucket list versus like a general female bucket list just because there's every bucket's a little different and again that probably just has to come down to like women not being like visually I mean, they have better vision in some ways than men. Like I was saying, with like in terms of seeing, more colors, but they're not typically as like visually like aroused as men are.
And I'm assuming that would be a function of like the fact that women are the gateway. Women hold the key to sex. Men hold the key to relationships. It's like for women to like not be if women liked sex as much as men did, we would be overpopulated and there'd be a huge problem. So because women naturally are going to need to be more choosy, like that's just it's a good thing. It's part of the code. So that would to me it seems like it would make it it makes sense that there are a lot of different categories that would like make it go or no go.
Oh yeah, and one thing that's like really important is for high value men, women definitely attracted to men who have similar immune systems to their fathers. How they can tell, I don't know. But it's a thing. It's been studied a lot. And like having a similar immune system to their father it's highly valued. But again, that's one thing, like depending on who the gal's father is, like, her preference of like potential partner, like, current immune system setup is going to be very different from woman to woman.
And
But it has a
are you
huge
talking
role in
about genetic
attraction.
father?
Yeah. Like biological
Oh.
father.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because I was looking for a guy. My dad has a pretty good genetics, and I was looking for a guy always who would be like strong and have this similar immune system, like not some
Well, the thing is, like, women don't even know. Like, I don't know all the. I mean, some things I've had like blood titers done. It's like I know what levels of antibodies I have against certain things, but no, like no one actually knows what their immune system status is. But they somehow can pick up on a guy whose immune system current setup is similar to their father's. But it's not something you can be like, oh, this is my dad's immune system, so I'm going to look for this guy. It's just one of those things that happens. And then when scientists go and like retroactively and like do the testing, it's like, wow, okay, there's a link here.
Mhm.
But it's not something that's done with any sort of conscious direction.
Yeah. Or even like physically looking similar as the father. Let's say if a girl has a good relationship with her father, then she would want to be married to somebody who is like her father. Obviously younger, right? Because it's a generation
Maybe a little
cycle.
bit younger.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But still, looking similar to her father, behaving in a similar way as her father, if she managed to see the father as a gender role representative of the male population, then this is the idea that she's going to have. The problem we face right now is the fathers are so spineless and clueless, and they are so speechless that the girls get away with anything their mothers are telling them. And the father is just this subservient imbecile. And then what the girls learns how to do, how to deal with a subservient imbecile. She doesn't know how to talk to a high value man, for example, because her father, even though he was, we need to define the high value dude here, because there is a lot of confusion around this word, I think, because how high value dude can be beta, the provider side of the high value man, right? But women usually want somebody who is more than that, who is more than a provider, because in a modern setting, women can take care of themselves. They don't need men's money. They don't need men's provision for them. They want something else, but something else that they want, men don't have in most cases. 80% of the male population out there, they don't have it. They can't give it to women, because that authority was taken away from those men. They don't know how to be men anymore. And it's not just the provision. I know it's important factor, and I've yet met a woman who would say no to the men's resources. This is why you see these models and OnlyFans girls. They always want somebody who provides more resources than they already have. Women are not stupid. They're not going to say no to your money, especially if you're offering it for free without your providing you with mind-blowing sex and other demands from your list, right? Because they know what they can get away with. And if you give it to them for free without asking for anything in return, or with asking so little, like accounting chief was saying, I'm only a dog, I need a few pets and some food in me. And maybe that's the problem, guys. Maybe that's the problem, that your list is very small. You don't know your own value. Maybe that is the problem, because guys who do, they are not setting up for less. They want it, and the woman either complies with what they want, or they find a replacement for her. They find another woman. Yeah. But men today are not being taught that. They are not being taught how to be men. And it's been for 4 to 5 generations now, since the 1960s. If you attended the school after the 1960s, you are being taught the indoctrination, the feminism, how men are worthless, women can survive without men, women can do whatever they want without men. You have to actively fight this programming that has been brainwashed into you. We were born into it. All of us are feminists to some extent. All of us. Even if you choose traditional marriage, we still benefited from feminism. We have the technologies, we have the internet. We can't undo what has been done already. Yeah, but we need to come to the common grounds here. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but it needs to happen for the survival of the manhood. Otherwise, we see what already happens. Women are convinced they don't need no man. Men don't want to deal with women anymore. What does it lead to? Have you watched the movie The Children of Men?
Mm-mm.
No, you should
Mm-mm.
watch it. It's a very depressing movie. I'm sorry for bringing it up to
I
you
want to
guys.
watch depressing movies.
You like watching depressing
No,
movies?
I
Okay,
don't
here is
want
one. Here is one for you. Well, it's not like super depressing, but it's where we are headed, guys. With men checking out, not wanting to deal with women, women not wanting to deal with men. The problem is that we need to fix the institutions first. We need to approach the marriage from the state or federal level. Let's say why men don't want to be involved with women, because of the law that favors women, right? If the law is rewritten, and then if men demand the paternity test and it's mandatory, then if we have the clause in the law that says men are not liable for the children who are not biologically his children, but we need to mandate the paternity test first to do that, then women would be more considerate of the outcomes. They won't be able to pick and choose which beta provider is going to take care of the baby that is not biologically his baby. She will be stuck with what she has. She won't be able to take advantage of the 80% of those men who don't know any better, you know? They might have the money, and it's not the problem. You see, like Jeff Bezos, for example, like there are a lot of beta men who have the money. They do the work, they bust their asses, you know. But the problem is that they don't know how to be men. They are taken advantage of constantly by the law, by their ex-wives. Especially that dude who was imprisoned for 5 years. That story really should tell you something. This explains why men don't want to deal with women today, and it makes total sense. Until we change the law around it, I don't think men will want to deal with women. We can talk about it, we can say like, oh, but these values, those values, the body count matters, all of these topics that we see are in the manosphere prevalent right now. The problem is not the outcome. The problem is what's the reason. We need to fix the reason first before we get to the symptoms. The symptoms are that men are not interested in women, and women are super strong and independent. They don't want to deal with men. These are just the outcomes, you know, that come later. What's the cause? Fix the cause first. That's one of my favorite movies. Yeah, you saw it, Emperor, The Children of Men. Very good movie, guys. Watch it, okay? Whenever you have time. It's a pretty long movie, but it's a good one. Yeah. Well, okay, I'm going to add the points here. And then when we look at the feminists here, I did not include all of the points maybe that I could have here. The simping submissive men want in women today equal partner. Then money maker girl, you know, who can have her clout, and she makes the money for herself. So what it really tells me is that these simping men who are defending the rights of women today, they don't actually want to take any responsibility for women because they are voting for female independence. Ladies, do you realize where it leads you? Do you realize where you are headed after these simping men help you to get more power? They want you to be the money producer. They don't want you to be a wife.
Or you start going out and framing houses.
Yeah, they want you to make the money. They want you to be strong and independent. And then you end up being single because guess what? Men are men. Men are very visual. Even the simping submissive men will be more interested in hotties out there. And as we know, 18-year-old models are being born every single day. So you will end up, ladies, with nothing by listening to these simping dudes. Especially the ones who support and can tell no to you. Yeah, self-focused woman with the childish behavior is supported and encouraged by this man. Sure, because it benefits them. It allows them to keep spinning plates, not settle with you. Okay? Because they don't want a stable relationship. They want a strong, powerful, and independent woman who kills their manhood, but they are willing to sacrifice their manhood for your pussy in hope that you like them. But this leads you to frustration and desperation later on in your 40s when you're still single and you can't find the right guy to marry. Why is that? Well, here is one of the reasons for you ladies. And then women must rely on themselves. Yes, you can't trust men because men are not trustworthy. Not all men are like that. You know, these are the men who are untrustworthy. What they are saying, really, ladies, this is what you should be thinking about. That these guys who are supporting you in your political, socio-economical movements, more freedom for women. Yes, we've been deprived for such a long time with the patriarchy. Those guys who are supporting you there, they want you to rely on yourself. They want you to be single later on. Because they don't want you to trust the men. They don't want you to trust that they're reliable, rational, masculine men. They are so focused on having the pussy, they're blindsided. They can't see it beyond their eyes. They are very self-focused guys. They don't think about humanity. They don't think about any of the outcomes that are coming from that kind of behavior. And then they encourage the love, feelings, emotional attachment, and all the other spiritual bullshit out there. Yes, because it makes you weak, it makes you vulnerable, ladies, and it blind spots you because they are playing on your emotions here. Because women are more emotional, you want to believe the things that you hear from them. Whether it's true or not, this is why you need to work on your critical thinking skills. This is why we are running these discussions, to wake a few people up. Well, they still want what men want, right? They want respect from you. They hope that with all of the sacrifice that they do for you, they sacrifice their masculinity and frame, you will respect them later, which you want, and I don't blame you. I don't respect them either. Then they want you to understand them, which it's like beyond my understanding. Why would you want women to do that? If you're white knights, why are you doing this? Is it just because you want the pussy? Is it because you're so desperate? Yeah, then they give up their manhood. Yeah. The desperate man, it's bad. It's evil for our society. Then they want the understanding from the woman. They still want sex from you, ladies. Yeah, and then sincere desire, hopefully they maybe believe that you will have sincere desire for them because they do all of the things for you. They still say they want a traditional woman who might want to do some house chores, but not necessarily. You know, but deep inside, you dig into the man's psyche, you will realize that, oh, no, actually, I want her to cook. It would be nice, you know? Like, sheep, I have been mocking on you. I'm so sorry, dude. Here, like, if she feeds me a little bit. You see, they still want it. and then the child care, and so that she can keep herself busy, productive with your time when he's working. Yeah.
I feel like a
And
lot of those, it's not like a straight carryover, but a lot of those were like on the list before. So, I mean, it's just something that like all men like want in women, like regardless of their.
there is the baseline, there is the female nature, there is the male nature. Okay, so in addition to ladies, and this is what you need to understand, in addition to you being independent, strong, powerful mommy out there, they still want the traditional values that these guys here want. Okay, the rational, stable man, high value man want in a woman. They still want that, and they hope, it's just the mating strategy is different. They choose a different mating strategy to get to what they want. They think that if they sacrifice their masculinity while they get from you the sex, the understanding, the sincere desire, they hope that this will trigger you to behave differently with them. You see, but what happens in women, it's a defense mechanism. You can read through it and you can say, oh, this guy is full of shit. He doesn't actually want to take care of me. He's just a simp out there. Women catch up to that, the ones who turn their brains on. The ones who think with their emotions obviously don't, because they are falling into the delusion, but they are the ones who end up being single when they are 40. You see? And let's look at here, feminist women want in a man. So emotional availability, but how much of that do you actually want in a man? This is something that the dating coaches, we've been debunking them before. You can check out other videos, as I mentioned. This is what they are selling to you. This guy should be the emotionally available guy for you that you can cry on. Yeah, how many of you bought into this lie? And then blind compliance and support from a man. So basically, the simps, right? They need to sacrifice themselves. They need to sacrifice their frame so that women can get their blind compliance. And then unquestionable commitment from a guy. Like, yes, ma'am, do as she tells you. She tells you not to look through the pictures of other floozies on internet. You comply with your, agree with everything she tells you. And then we still have the contradicting female nature with we can't take a woman. Look, we can take a woman out of female nature, and this is where we see the feminists preside. But we can't take female nature out of women. And guess what, ladies? Female nature will always win. It will always prevail. You will default to, okay, he needs to take care of me financially. He needs to fund my lifestyle, right? But also fund your crazy ideas. That comes down to the simping side of it. And then provide resources, things, equal partner, but not really, right? You want somebody that you can rely on, somebody who can give you more than what you already have. Then 100% of responsibility for his, her, for himself, for her, and their family's actions. This is why when we see a felon, a boy, for example, or a child committing a crime, the question is, where is the father? Always, where is the father? The father should be responsible for this guy. Like, who raised this guy? Was it really the father or was it the mother? And then zero authority for the guy. So he has to be 100% responsible, but with zero authority, slavery. So what feminists want is a slaver from the man. And then social proof and validation. Yeah, publicly simping for her. Sure. Do as she tells him. She still wants a high value man. This is in her nature. To be responsible and reliable, but she doesn't trust him. Again, she can't let go of her control. She can't let go of her power so that she can trust this strong, rational, high value man to take care of her. Why is that, I wonder? Well, have you recently listened to what is being sold to women? All of this self-focus. Yeah. Go follow your heart, follow your dreams, go follow your emotions. And the simping dudes are not helping. They're like, yes, you need to be strong and independent. Yes, 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 because we don't want to take any responsibility for you, lady. You are on your own there. But we will take the pussy. Oh my gosh. I don't like simps. I really don't. Give up his mental point of origin, masculinity and masculine frame. Except for here is the cognitive dissonance for you. The contradicting views in one brain. It's incredible. You see how the brainwashed by society ideas are contradicting the core female nature here, guys. So the guy in the feminist's mind has to give up his mental point of origin, masculinity. He has to limit his options for her, so it's going to be closed on his end, open on her end. This is why I raised the question to you ladies. How willing are you to sacrifice your Instagram for the high value man? Because if he's that valuable, your Instagram should be irrelevant. You see, but a lot of women, especially feminists, they would say, but this is my channel. This is my profile. I can't. If I do it, he has to do it too. Yeah, except you want him more than he wants you. And he has more options. He can choose not to deal with you. And he will be smart to do so, because if you're not willing to sacrifice anything for that kind of relationship with that high value man out there, you will be single and alone, because you won't adjust your desires for a beta. You wouldn't want to settle with a submissive simping dude out there either, because you can't respect him. And then not okay for him to cheat. So closed on his end. Well, then she's allowed to cheat. We see the proof of it, right? And by her nature, she still wants a strong, rational, masculine man. There is no way around it. She still wants that guy, okay, who can turn her on and who can say no to her. So whatever simp is doing is never enough. And I don't blame you, ladies. I don't like simps. Well, I don't like what they are doing either. I don't think it's healthy for our society. I don't think, it might sound nice at the moment, but 10 years from now, 20 years from now, where your SMV, sexual market value, goes down, you become wrinkly, also lose shape if you don't exercise. This is when you will have to pay the price for this delusion.
Okay. I feel like if we're gonna be like, I don't know, like independent woman though, but actually like do something other than OnlyFans, it's going to like, carry you through your older years. Like you can be happy and alone, like as long as you have like a really strong like social network. Like it doesn't have to be sexual or physical to be fulfilling. But I mean, yeah, probably not everyone like has that outlook too. Like some people just are very like into their biology, and like even when they like rationally know like they're beyond the point of like procreating with any degree of like likely success, like they still, maybe it's just because society and everything, they just kind of get brainwashed and like, oh, but I have to do this, and they get on this like weird quest. It's like, why?
Yeah, ask yourself why are you being told that you have to do it? Maybe somebody is selling you a dream. Maybe somebody is benefiting from selling you a dream. Okay, this is what you need to question. You can't just trust people 100% what they say out there. You need to verify what you hear unless they tell you the truth that is a fact already, a well-established fact. But other than that, you need to, yeah. Let's debunk. We kind of did a lot today, guys. It was a very interesting topic. I'd like to stop here before we start debunking the concrete messages. We have a few more slides, but I suggest we leave them for next week before we meet the spiritual.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to get going in like a few minutes
Yeah.
anyway because I'm going to the
This is
water
why I'm
park.
like,
Yay.
I'm sorry, guys. I was trying to keep it shorter today, but 8 slides apparently is still on. And these are very important topics to cover. So I'm glad we had some engagement from people. So, guys, thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing your comments. Yeah, if you have questions, if you have suggestions, recommendations, if you'd like to share your experience with us, just reach out. You can actually send an email to elenasbarre@gmail.com, and we might put you on stage where you share a little bit of your observation, what has been your observation in fitness, in relationships, maybe share your personal story, but not too deep, okay, so that we get some idea, and then maybe we can give you some actionable advice, right? I think it would be fun. And then we will debunk concrete messages next time, okay? Because I want to, guys, release the guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys so much. You know that, right? Yeah.
You too.
Oh, thank you, dear. Yeah, I'm glad to have you back. Eamma used to be in Elena's Bar Teachers community, but then she had her moment when she had to leave. Yeah, but I'm glad to have you back, dear. Yeah, I'm glad that you realized we
Well, I'm
were
quite often
watching
a different point of view or a different opinion as well.
Yeah, you were watching and you were analyzing, and I was sharing. I know that you follow me pretty closely on Instagram. You see the stories that I share with you, and I can see how many people watch those stories. And I'm like, okay, I think that she will be back at some point because you were even like commenting on some of the posts that I made, and I'm like, I think she will be back. So I'm glad to see you. Yeah,
You talking about simps there? Can I share something? Years ago, I was on holiday in Gran Canaria, and we went on a day. It was a Jeep safari, very touristy thing, and there was this couple there that were on their honeymoon, and I have always wondered how long their marriage lasted. He was a complete simp. We stopped off at a lake at one point. I mean, if we heard his name like 100 times that day, it was just every 5 minutes she was calling to him for something. And we stopped at this lake, and she waded on in for a like paddle, knee-deep paddle. And then she stood on this rock and called his name and literally stood there with her foot like this. He had to come over and dry her feet and then carry her out of the lake. And that pretty much set the tone for the day. And yeah, I've often wondered, that's their honeymoon. How much longer did their marriage last?
I mean, unless they both have like some like hardcore kink about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, he pretty much was her bitch.
Like maybe he had a foot thing and like she made his day.
Well, no, I think he was just her bitch. I mean,
or that. I mean,
some
guys,
like, try and do this, try and do that, and yeah.
Some guys will pay women like, $700 an hour just to like talk shit to them and like make demands of them and lick their boots or whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, people pay a lot of money for things like that. So
yeah, he
was. Who knows? It could also just be a very, very, unhappy time for him.
Yeah, I think it was more.
Yeah, men usually, they can do it. Again, it depends on their frame, but they are not happy with it. And at some point, maybe something else will trigger in that relationship, and then he just blows up, and he decides to leave, and he will not want to deal with you anymore with that kind of crappy attitude.
Yeah.
And he may not even remarry. A lot of guys, they just put a cross on relationships. They think that women are not worth it, and they go towards the black pill doomers out there who like over rationalizing, as I've mentioned before. They remember all of the divorce cases that happened and how women abused men and how women are just horrible human beings, which we don't help ourselves, right? But still, those men who don't want to try again.
There was a lot of glances and eyebrow raises that day, because of these two. It was,
I understand why, but at the same time, you can't run your life based on just one bad experience that you had with one woman. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it will lead you to the outcomes you might want. If that's what you want to do, that's fine, but if you still want have a desire and hope to be in a relationship one day, you need to do better vetting. You need to analyze where did you screw up, and it applies to women too. If women don't analyze their prior relationships, but what these coaches, the dating coaches, are teaching women, you can do no wrong. It's all the fault of this unemotionally available man, this strong, rational man who prevent you from getting what you want. So they are actually blaming the rational guys out there for to women who can't get what they want. The problem is that maybe it's women's attitude, but this is something that women are not being taught today. Maybe she made series of bad choices that have led her to the bad outcomes. But how dare we to bring it up to people? How dare we to tell women that? Because now they are told that they're these perfect princesses. Everyone deserves a prince out there, but not everyone gets one. Yeah. Well, anyway, last final thoughts. Sam, do you have any thoughts to wrap it up?
Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, do it again. Okay, cool. That's a good wrap up. Okay, guys, I'm really going to refer you to Sam. Go follow Sam, follow Eamma and Melody. I'll probably put a small extract from today's conversation. We had a lot of fun, guys, as always. Next time, we will just continue with the same presentation. We have 4 more slides there. So it's just going to be examples, and we will get into debunking it. And if you have questions, relationship related questions, reach out, send us your comments. We highly appreciate your help and your involvement in these topics. These topics need to be discussed. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Let me take us out. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.